I think in that league, I mean, it just challenges us. First of all, we're in a daily environment. That's something that as a Canadian team we haven't had any domestic leagues. So just having an environment to train in is definitely huge for us. Keeping up our levels of fitness and sharpness. In terms of the games, you know, every game is a different tactical challenge. So, you know, in the weeks preparing for that particular match, it's been good as a defender, for example, knowing of different types of strikers you're dealing with. You're dealing with Abby Wambach on a weekly basis, LaRue, and a whole array of them. Riley, like, so it's been amazing in that regard. It challenges different parts of your game in different times, and we're lucky to have the environment. The first thing that comes to mind is passion. The second is pride, and just I think we haven't been home in front of a crowd like this, I would say, in a very long time with this set of circumstances. I mean, the last time I remember a game like this was like U19, like it's been a while. So for us, it's a matter of using the crowd as you know, using them in the best possible way, and knowing that this is kind of a test run, a dry run for the World Cup. We know it's going to be hopefully like this more often than not at all our games. So it's great to feel the energy and basically know how to use it, you know, to our favor. So.
All right, last question. Any friendly wagers back in Chicago over the results of the game?
You know what, a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Just actually we're gaining a lot more Canadian fans, so that's the other advantage of the NWSL. You know, you get to know some of the domestics, some of the Americans, and they're now rooting for us, some of them. So, no, nothing too crazy, but I know a lot of people's eyes are on this match, and it's gonna be a good one.
Excellent.
I found that in the league I've gotten myself in good positions to score and kind of set the play up for my teammates. I think I've converted well. I've scored 5 goals in the league, and that hasn't been something that's been a part of my role as a midfielder before, and so he's incorporating that and trying to put me in positions where I can connect or play more off of our 2 strikers. I think it comes naturally for us 4. We've spent quite a couple of years playing with each other. We know our tendencies, and so it's just a matter of you know, figuring out the little things in terms of how do we incorporate other players in terms of how we want to play and the outcome we want. It's been good. It's been you know, I think our team does a good job of incorporating the young pups in with our team. We have a super relaxed atmosphere. John does a great job actually of taking the stress away, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. We don't know about it, so we can focus on our job on the field. You know, when it comes down to performing, I think we're able to switch it on and kind of do the work, but I think we're also a team that's able to just kind of kick back and take it easy. You know, I think everybody feels like it's a big stress, the US game, but I don't think it's something that we've put a lot of attention to outside of practice times and in meetings. So.
That's good.
It's just kind of, you know, just that pride that comes with wearing the Canadian shirt. You know, just all the years in the past, the players that have been there, the fans that have fallen in love with us, just to kind of go out there and lay everything on the line, play with my heart, and, you know, just walk off that field proud of my performance, and, you know, just shrug it off and be like, you know, there's nothing more I could have done, and just kind of, yeah, I mean, ultimately I want to win, you know, for Canada. I think that's what they want from us, but just to put in a solid performance, I think that's what we're all trying to do.
You know, obviously every time we play the Americans, it's a big game. You don't get the chance to play against the best team in the world very often, especially on your home soil. But yeah, we're trying our best to move on from the Olympics, and we're using this game as a prep for the World Cup. You know, if we want to succeed in the World Cup, we got to learn how to beat teams like. Absolutely. I mean, we've got some very young players here with us that are going to play. It's their first opportunity to play at home, to play the US. Just like throw them in there and see how it goes. No, they've been tremendous. You know, and that's something that John is, I think, trying to do more and more. You know, there's been this core group on the national team for a pretty long time, and he's bringing in a lot of young, new, fresh faces that, you know, have a legitimate shot of being on the team for the World Cup, and he's got to see them in games. I mean, first you got to deal with 2 of the best forwards in the world. They put the ball in the back of the net, and we got to stop that. You know, and they're just one of those teams that you can't afford to make any mistakes against, because they'll punish you for it, and then when you do get your chances, you got to bury them, because there's not gonna be many of them. I love it, but yeah, I'm playing in Portland, where, you know, it's incredible. You know, the organization is amazing. Our fan support is the best in the country, and obviously I love Portland, so. There just seems to be a different sharpness about practices, and John mentioned it. Everyone just looks sharp out there, and I think that comes from, you know, obviously training day in and day out with top players and playing a game every weekend. In the past, we haven't had that. It's sort of been training on your own, you know, touch the ball as often as you can, but it's hard to replicate a 90-minute match.
This match against each other?
not at all, because you know, WPS, you know, college, I mean, most of our team went to the US to play college. Most of us, or a lot of us, played in the WPS. Not much has changed.